Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, glad you found us. Pull up a chair, grab your coffee, because today we're talking about one of the most legendary automobiles ever to roll off an American assembly line. Look, I'll be straight with you. I've been into classic cars my whole life. My uncle had a '56 Chevy when I was a kid, and I thought that was the coolest thing on four wheels. But then I saw my first '57 Bel Air at a car show when I was about 12 years old. And man, that was it. Game over. That car had everything. The chrome, those tail fins, that low, aggressive stance. It looked like it was doing 60 miles an hour just sitting in a parking lot. So here's what we're doing today. We're diving deep into the 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air, and I'm not just talking about the usual stuff you hear at every cruise night. I spent weeks digging through archives, racing records, production documents, all the good stuff. And what I found? 13 facts about this car that genuinely shocked me. Some of this stuff I'd never heard before, and I've been obsessed with these cars for decades. Whether your old man had one of these beauties, or you've been restoring one in your garage for the past 10 years, or you just appreciate classic American iron, stick around. Because by the end of this video, you're going to see the '57 Bel Air in a whole new light. Trust me on this one. Fact 1. GM never planned a new design for 1957. Here's something that'll blow your mind. General Motors executives originally wanted a completely new car for 1957. They were planning a total redesign from the ground up. But production delays and escalating costs forced them to hit the brakes. Instead, Ed Cole, Chevrolet's chief engineer, had to work with what they had, the basic structure from the 1955 and 1956 models. What Cole did was nothing short of genius. He implemented a series of strategic modifications that completely transformed the car's appearance without rebuilding everything. A new dashboard, a sealed cowl, relocated air ducts to the headlight pods, which created those distinctive chrome headlight housings that helped make the '57 a legend. They dropped the car's stance by switching from 15-inch to 14-inch wheels, giving it that lower, meaner look. The wide grille made it look broader from the front, and those now famous tail fins duplicated that wide look in the rear. The result? A car that looked completely new, even though it was essentially a restyled version of its predecessors, and that compromise became one of the most iconic automobile designs in history. Fact 2. Over 700,000 Bel Airs were built, but Ford still won. In 1957, Chevrolet produced a staggering 702,220 Bel Air models. That's just the top-tier Bel Air line. Total Chevrolet production for the year topped 1.5 million passenger cars. You'd think with those numbers, Chevy would have crushed Ford in the sales war, right? Wrong. Ford actually outsold Chevrolet in 1957 for the first time since 1935. Ford's total sales came in at approximately 1,522 to 406 cars, compared to Chevrolet's 1,516 on 177, though Chevy's figures included about 7,000 leftover 1956 models. It was incredibly close, but Ford took the crown. Historians attribute Chevy's loss partly to a controversial decision, the introduction of tubeless tires. Buyers in 1957 viewed this innovation with suspicion and trepidation. It might seem ridiculous now, but people were genuinely nervous about tires without inner tubes. That hesitation may have cost Chevrolet the top spot. But here's the twist. While Ford won the battle in 1957, Chevrolet won the war for immortality. Today, when people think of 1950s American cars, the '57 Chevy Bel Air comes to mind far more often than any Ford from that year. Fact 3. The price was surprisingly affordable. When the 1957 Bel Air rolled into showrooms, the starting price ranged from approximately $2,173 to $20,900 depending on body style and options. The four-door sedan started around $2,048 for the base 150 model. The convertible, the most luxurious and stylish option, sold for about $20,500. Now, adjust those figures for inflation, and you're looking at roughly $22,000 to $27,000 in today's dollars. That's less than many new compact cars cost now. For that price, buyers got a vehicle with the styling of a luxury car, plenty of chrome, powerful engine options, and genuine head-turning presence. This affordability was crucial to the Bel Air's success. It wasn't just a car for the wealthy, it was attainable for the growing American middle class. Factory workers, teachers, salesmen, regular folks could walk into a dealership and drive out in a car that looked like it belonged to someone much wealthier. That's the magic of the '57 Bel Air. It democratized style and performance. Fact 4. 1 horsepower. Per cubic inch, a historic milestone. The 1957 Bel Air was the first time an American mass-production passenger car achieved the legendary benchmark of 1 horsepower per cubic inch, with a gasoline engine available to the public. The top-tier engine was the 283 cubic inch small block V8, equipped with Rochester ramjet, continuous mechanical fuel injection, producing exactly 283 horsepower. Let that sink in. In an era when most family sedans were making 140 to 180 horsepower, Chevrolet offered an engine that could legitimately smoke the tires. With 290 pound-feet of torque, this power plant transformed the Bel Air from a stylish cruiser into a genuine performance machine. This wasn't just advertising hype. This was real usable power. The fuel-injected 283 became legendary in racing circles and established Chevrolet as a serious performance brand. While Chrysler's 300B had technically beaten this milestone a year earlier with its 355 horsepower, 354 cubic inch engine, the Chevy's achievement was significant because it made such performance accessible to everyday buyers through fuel injection technology. Fact 5. Fuel injection was revolutionary and rare. Speaking of that fuel injection system, here's a fact that'll surprise you. Very few 1957 Bel Airs actually had it. The Rochester ramjet fuel injection was a costly option, and most buyers couldn't justify the expense. If you own a '57 Chevy with factory fuel injection, you have something genuinely special and rare. This was groundbreaking technology for 1957. Mechanical fuel injection was incredibly advanced for a passenger car. Most vehicles still used carburetors, which would remain standard for decades. The fuel injection system offered better throttle response, more consistent power delivery, and improved reliability compared to carburation. Only 68 fuel-injected Bel Air convertibles were built in 1957. Yes, you read that right, 68. Today, these cars are among the most sought-after classic vehicles in existence. One fuel-injected '57 Bel Air convertible scored 997 out of 1,000 points at the National Classic Chevy Show. At auction, they can command prices exceeding $379,500. Fact 6. 7 body styles gave buyers options. The '57 Bel Air wasn't just one car, it was a whole family of vehicles. Buyers could choose from 7 different body styles, each with its own character and purpose. There was the 2-door Sport Coupe, the classic hardtop with no pillar between the front and rear windows, which sold 126 units and remains the most popular body style among collectors today. The 4-door Sport Sedan sold 137,672 units. The 4-door sedan moved 264,449 units, making it the most common. The stunning convertible, which sold 47,562 units, is now the most desirable. There was also a 2-door sedan, the Townsman 4-door station wagon, and the iconic 2-door Nomad wagon, the rarest of all, with only 6,264 units produced. This variety meant the Bel Air could serve almost any buyer's needs. Want a practical family car? Get the 4-door sedan. Want weekend fun? Choose the convertible. Need hauling capacity with style? The Nomad wagon was unlike anything else on the road. Fact 7. The engine options were mind-boggling. Today's car buyers typically get 2 or 3 engine choices, maybe 4 if they're lucky. The 1957 Bel Air, it offered an absolutely staggering array of power plants. The base engine was the trusty 235.5 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder, nicknamed the Blue Flame 6, producing 140 horsepower and 215 pound-feet of torque. Reliable, economical, and perfectly adequate for daily driving. But the V8 options were where things got interesting. First was a carryover 265 cubic inch V8, making 162 or 170 horsepower. Then came the new 283 cubic inch small block in multiple configurations, a 2-barrel version with 185 horsepower, the popular 4-barrel Super Turbo Fire with 220 horsepower, dual 4-barrel setups producing 245 or 270 horsepower depending on whether you had hydraulic or solid lifters, and the fuel-injected ramjet versions making 250 or 283 horsepower. That's at least 9 different engine configurations. 9. You could spec your Bel Air for maximum fuel economy, solid everyday performance, weekend racing, or all-out tire-smoking acceleration. Fact 8. 2 antennas for perfect symmetry. This detail perfectly captures the obsessive attention to design that made the 57 Bel Air special. Chevrolet was so committed to symmetry and balance that the car featured 2 radio antennas, one mounted by each tail fin at the rear. Most cars of the era had a single antenna, typically on the front fender. But that would have disrupted the Bel Air's carefully balanced styling. So Chevrolet's designers installed matching antennas in the rear, one on each side, maintaining the car's perfect symmetry. This level of attention to aesthetic detail was unusual for a mass-production car priced for the middle class. It's the kind of thing you'd expect from a custom coach builder or a luxury marque like Cadillac. Yet here it was on a Chevrolet. This commitment to design excellence is one reason the 57 Bel Air remains so beloved. Every angle, every detail, every piece of chrome was considered and refined. Fact 9. It dominated NASCAR for nearly 2 decades. The 57 Chevy's racing legacy is nothing short of extraordinary. In NASCAR competition, the 1957 Chevrolet won 49 Grand National Cup races, the most of any car in NASCAR history. Read that again. The most of any car in NASCAR history. The 57 Chevy won the Southern 500 in 1957, 1958, and 1959, becoming the only car to win that prestigious race 3 consecutive times. The 283 V8's increased horsepower gave the 57 a dramatic advantage, especially on short tracks and dirt tracks where its balanced chassis and front engine positioning behind the front axle centerline made it handle superbly. NASCAR eventually had to impose cubic inch restrictions specifically because the 1955-57 Chevrolets were winning so many races. Even with these restrictions, the 57 continued dominating until it was finally grandfathered out of lower NASCAR divisions in the 1970s. Think about that. A car introduced in 1956 was still competitive in professional racing nearly 20 years later. Joe Lee Johnson drove a 1957 Chevrolet convertible to victory in the first-ever Daytona 500 in 1959. Convertibles were approximately 10 miles per hour slower than hardtops due to aerodynamics, yet the 57 still won. Fact 10. It starred in movies, TV shows, and songs. The 1957 Bel Air transcended its role as transportation and became a cultural icon woven into the fabric of American popular culture. It appeared in countless films, most famously in American Graffiti in 1973, where it represented the carefree spirit of youth and cruising culture. The car showed up in songs celebrating the era of rock and roll. Chuck Berry's Maybelline and the Beach Boys' songs about car culture captured the excitement these vehicles generated among teenagers. The The Dinah Shore Chevy Show, which aired on NBC from 1956 to 1963, featured the theme song "See the USA in Your Chevrolet," embedding the brand, and particularly the 57 model, deep into American consciousness. Chevrolet's advertising campaign for 1957 used the tagline, "Sweet, smooth, and sassy," and it worked. The car became synonymous with freedom, youth, rebellion, and the American dream. For teenagers in the late 1950s and early 1960s, a 57 Chevy represented independence and possibility. It was the car you dreamed about, saved for, and cruised to the drive-in on Saturday night. Fact 11. The Nomad wagon was essentially a two-door Bel Air. Most people don't realize the Nomad station wagon was actually classified as a Bel Air model. With only 6,964 units produced in 1957, it's the rarest Bel Air body style and extraordinarily valuable today. The Nomad was unlike any other wagon. It featured a unique two-door design with the same stylish treatment as the hardtop coupes. No B-pillar, just flowing glass and chrome. It had carryover styling cues from previous years, but incorporated the new 1957 design language. This wagon wasn't just practical, it was genuinely beautiful. It offered the cargo capacity families needed, but with styling that turned heads everywhere it went. For hot rodders and customizers, the Nomad became especially popular because its two-door design allowed easier engine bay access and aerodynamic modifications. Today, a well-restored Nomad can command prices similar to or even exceeding convertibles, making it one of the most valuable station wagons ever built. Fact 12. The styling was inspired by jets and Ferraris. The 57 Bel Air's design didn't appear out of nowhere. It was a deliberate synthesis of aerospace influence and European sports car aesthetics. The prominent tailfins were directly inspired by jet aircraft, reflecting America's fascination with aviation and the space age. Designer Harley Earl pioneered this tailfin styling with the 1948 Cadillac, and by 1957, it had reached its apex with the Bel Air. The front grille was reportedly Ferrari-inspired, giving the car an exotic, performance-oriented appearance despite its American origins. The bumper guards were designed to resemble jet aircraft nose cones, another aerospace touch that reinforced the car's modern, forward-looking image. The designer Chuck Jordan oversaw GM's design department for the 57 Chevrolet, responding to Virgil Exner's forward-look designs at Chrysler. Jordan called for taller tail fins, headlight surround vents, and those distinctive bumperettes. The result was a car that looked fast even when standing still. The extensive use of gold anodized trim on the Bel Air, the grille insert, front fender chevrons, and Chevrolet script on the hood and trunk gave the car an upscale appearance that rivaled genuine luxury brands. This wasn't just chrome, it was carefully considered visual merchandising. Fact 13. It defined American automotive culture. The final fact isn't just about the car itself, it's about what the 57 Bel Air represents. This automobile helped define American automotive culture in ways that reverberate to this day. The 1957 Chevrolet embodied the optimism and prosperity of post-war America. It was affordable enough for the expanding middle class, but stylish enough to make owners feel successful. It represented freedom, the ability to hit the open road, explore the newly built interstate highway system, and experience the vastness of America. The 57 Bel Air became the foundation of hot rod culture. Its lightweight body, powerful V8, and balanced chassis made it ideal for modifications. Young enthusiasts could buy these cars cheaply in the 1960s and 1970s and build them into formidable drag strip competitors. When Chevrolet introduced the 327 cubic inch small block V8 in 1962, which fit perfectly into the Tri-Five cars, these already potent machines became nearly unbeatable. Decades after production ended, the 57 Bel Air remains one of the most restored, most collected, and most beloved classic cars ever built. At car shows worldwide, a pristine 57 Chevy still draws crowds. Auction prices for exceptional examples regularly exceed $100,000, with rare fuel-injected convertibles approaching $400,000. The car appears on T-shirts, posters, in movies, and in the collective memory of America as a symbol of a specific moment in history, a time of confidence, prosperity, and unlimited possibility. There you have it, 13 facts about the 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air that might have surprised even the most dedicated enthusiasts among you. From its almost accidental design to its NASCAR dominance, from its affordable luxury to its status as a cultural icon, the 57 Bel Air is far more than just a pretty face with chrome and fins. This car represents a specific moment in American history when anything seemed possible, when style mattered as much as substance, and when a middle-class family could own a vehicle that looked like it belonged to royalty. Now I want to hear from you. Do you have experience with a 57 Bel Air? Maybe you owned one, or your father or grandfather did. Maybe you've restored one, or you've got memories of cruising in one as a teenager. Drop your stories in the comments below. This community thrives on shared experiences and the passion we all have for these incredible machines. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into automotive history, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more content like this. Subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you don't miss future videos where we explore the fascinating history behind the cars that shaped America. Thanks for watching, everyone. Keep those classics on the road, and I'll see you in the next video.